I need you to listen to this, all of it. Because if you're planning to visit Mammoth Cave in Kentucky, if you've seen those viral TikToks about the mummies they found down there, if you've read about Floyd Collins getting trapped 100 years ago, you need to know what's really waiting in the darkness below Bowling Green. My name is Sarah Martinez, and until 3 weeks ago, I was a cave photographer working with the National Park Service. If you're local to Kentucky, if you've ever been on the Echo River tour, please comment below. Tell me if you've heard what I heard. Hit that subscribe button because the Park Service will never tell you this story, and after tonight, I might not be able to tell it either. It started with room 237. That's what we called it. Not its official designation, just our nickname for a chamber that doesn't appear on any public map. It's accessed through a maintenance tunnel behind the tourist areas, about half a mile past where the Echo River tour ends. The Park Service has known about it since the 1970s, but they've kept it classified because of what's inside. Not Native American artifacts, not geological formations, something else. I was documenting unexplored sections for a new research publication when my supervisor, Dr. Chen, handed me coordinates to room 237. Just get some basic shots, he said, avoiding eye contact. Document the rock formations and come back. Don't spend more than 30 minutes down there. When I asked why, he looked at me with this expression I'd never seen before, like he was afraid of his own words. Because after 30 minutes, you start to hear them calling back. The descent to room 237 takes you through passages that get narrower and more twisted as you go deeper. My headlamp beam barely penetrated the darkness ahead, and the silence was so complete I could hear my heartbeat echoing off the limestone walls. The air tasted different down there, not just humid cave air, but something metallic and old, like blood mixed with century-old dust. When I finally reached room 237, I understood why it wasn't on the tourist maps. The chamber was massive, cathedral-sized, with a domed ceiling that disappeared into blackness above my head, but covering every surface, carved deep into the limestone walls, were thousands of names. Not Native American petroglyphs, not historical graffiti. Names in modern English carved in dozens of different handwriting styles, some fresh enough that limestone dust still clung to the letters. Sarah Chen, Michael Rodriguez, Jennifer Walsh, David Kim, all the missing people from the past 30 years. Every unexplained disappearance from the Mammoth Cave area was represented on those walls, carved by their own hands before they vanished forever. But that wasn't the worst part. The worst part was that, as I stood there with my camera, trying to document what I was seeing, I heard my own voice calling out from somewhere deep in the chamber. Hello? Is someone there? I'm lost and need help getting back to the surface. It was my exact voice, with my accent, my speech patterns, but I was standing completely silent with my mouth closed. And as I listened, frozen with terror, I realized the voice was coming from multiple directions. Dozens of versions of my own voice, overlapping and echoing, all calling out the same desperate plea for help. That's when I understood. Every name carved into those walls, every missing person, they were still down there, trapped in the limestone somehow, calling out to lure the next person deeper into the cave system. And now they had my voice too. I tried to run, but the moment I turned toward the exit tunnel, every voice in the chamber changed. Now they were all calling my name. Sarah! Sarah, don't leave us. Sarah, we know the way out. Just follow our voices and we'll show you. But they were coming from the wrong direction. The voices were calling from deeper in the cave, away from the exit, down passages that plunged into the earth like throats. And even though I knew it was impossible, even though every rational part of my brain was screaming warnings, those voices sounded so real, so desperate and human. How could I ignore people crying out for help? I took one step toward the voices before I caught myself. That's when I saw the fresh carving tools scattered on the chamber floor, chisels and hammers that hadn't been there when I entered. And beside them, A half-finished carving that made my blood freeze. Sarah Martinez carved in my own handwriting, even though I'd never touched those tools. The voices got more insistent. "Sarah, we can see the exit. We can see sunlight. Just come toward our voices and follow us home." But underneath their words, I could hear something else. A sound like stone grinding against stone, like the cave itself was moving and shifting around me. I forced myself to turn away from the voices and run toward the real exit. Behind me, the calling turned to screaming. Not angry screaming, but the desperate screams of people being abandoned to die. Every step I took, those voices followed me through the tunnels, begging me to come back, promising they could show me secret passages, swearing they were real people who just needed help. Do you know what the cruelest part was? Some of those voices probably were real people, at least at first. People who got lost in the unmapped sections and called out until their voices became part of the cave's collection, part of its hunting method. I made it back to the surface, but something followed me up. For the past 3 weeks, I've been hearing my own voice calling from impossible places, from my apartment walls, from storm drains, from the basement of my workplace, always the same desperate plea. "Hello? Is someone there? I'm lost and need help." And the worst part is, I keep wanting to answer. I keep wanting to call back and help that lost version of myself. Because what if she's real? What if there's actually a version of me still trapped down there, and I'm the only one who can save her? I've tried staying in hotels, I've tried leaving Kentucky entirely, but wherever I go, I hear that voice calling from underground. My voice begging someone to come down and help her find the way back to the surface. The Park Service fired me yesterday. They said I was compromised by prolonged cave exposure and that I needed psychological evaluation. But I know the truth. They fired me because I was asking too many questions about room 237, about why they keep it off the maps, about how many people have gone missing after documented visits to that chamber. They know what's down there. They've always known. And now it has my voice to add to its collection. If you're reading this, if you live anywhere near Mammoth Cave, please listen to me. If you hear someone calling for help from storm drains or basements or anywhere that connects to the underground, don't answer. Don't try to help. Because the thing in room 237 doesn't just collect voices, it collects the people attached to those voices. And if you hear a woman with a slight Spanish accent calling out for help, saying she's lost and needs someone to guide her back to the surface, that's me, or what's left of me. Don't come looking. Don't try to save me. Because I'm starting to remember carving my name into those limestone walls, and I don't think I ever made it back to the surface at all. Like and subscribe if you made it through.